I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We're now going to make a start on the ABRSM Grade 3 Discovering Music Theory workbook. So if you turn with me, we shall turn to page 1 presently. Do bear in mind that everything that we are covering will include everything that you've learned so far in grade 1 and grade 2, and now we will add on to that information. So it's important that you still keep in mind all of the information learned in the previous grades. So by all means do go back and have a little peep over those. However, we will cover a lot of that material as we progress as well. So we're going to move straight on to page 1, which covers the topic of rhythm. And you can see on the previous page we're going to discuss now demisemiquavers as well as semiquavers, and we can see here the breakdown of how that works, because we know that a crotchet divides into 2 quavers. Each quaver divides into semiquavers, and then each semiquaver divides into demisemiquavers. And each time we divide, we add like a little arm or little tail onto the note. And the reason demisemiquavers can also be referred to as 30-second notes is, if we just show this diagram, we know that a semibreve is often called the whole note in the sort of American or more pop music speak, as it were. And then that will divide into halves, and they are half notes or minims. And if we divide again, here are our crotchets, which can also be referred to as quarter notes. And we can see we've divided into 4, so there's quarters. And then if we divide again, we have our quavers. And so we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are referred to as eighth notes. If we divide again, these are our semiquavers. And we get 16 of those. So semiquavers, they can look like this on their own. They can look like this in 2s or 4s. We don't beam past 4s. Remember, we beam to show each crotchet beat ordinarily. And so those are, oh, dear me, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing there. 16th notes. And then, if we divide again, I'm going to run out of space. So here, 1, 2, 3. There'll be 16 there and 16 here. There will be 32 in total of the demisemiquavers, which each have 3 arms, which can look like this, or like this, and so on. And these are 30-second notes, or demisemiquavers. And so you can see that's quite a handful of notes. And so if you just bear in mind that one crotchet divides into 2 quavers, each quaver divides into semiquavers, and we can see that 4 demisemiquavers is 1 quaver. So we can just multiply those units. And so if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a crotchet, there are 4 crotchets in a semi-breve, and so 4 eighths are 32. So you've just got to kind of get your maths brain on a bit. I find maths quite tricky, so I tend to diagram it out just because I prefer to see it visually than looking at numbers. But you can definitely see the divisions, and then we have these extra little tails. We have 1 tail for a quaver, 2 for a semi-quaver, 3 for a demisemiquaver. And of course the rules for beaming will continue as normal. And so here we've got a little exercise just to get a head around these new demisemiquavers. And so a semiquaver is equal to 2 demisemiquavers. Or you could also think of it, if this is 1 beat, these are half a beat each, these are a quarter of a beat, these are an eighth of a beat. And if you prefer the maths way of going about it, we know that an eighth plus an eighth is a quarter of a beat. So you can either look at it in terms of maths or diagram it out. Either way, we can see that a semiquaver is equal to 2 demisemiquavers. And so if you get your maths going, how many demisemiquavers are there in a minim beat? And so we know that if there are 8 demisemiquavers to a crotchet, we know that there are 2 crotchets to a minim, so we have to multiply that by 2. So 8 times 2 is 16. So we've got 8 to a crotchet, and we times that by 2 for a minim. And so 8 times 2 equals 16. Now then, we've got to think a little bit more about this. A dotted crotchet is equal to how many demisemiquavers? So let's think about this. So here's a crotchet, and we know that 1 crotchet divides into 8 demisemiquavers. And so there's our 8. And then the dot is half as much again, and so half of 8 is 4. So altogether that would be 12 demisemiquaver beats. Now 2 quavers, this is a slightly sort of bit of a trick question here. 2 quavers are equal to how many demisemiquavers? Well, we know that 2 quavers are equal to 1 crotchet. And so we know that 2 quavers gives us 8 demisemiquavers. We know that a quaver divides into 4 demisemis, and so 4 plus another 4 gives us 8. Because 2 quavers is equal to 1 crotchet. Now 3 semiquavers are equal to how many demisemiquavers? So a semiquaver divides into 2 demisemiquavers, so that's 1 semiquaver. So times that by 3, so 2 times 3, because we've got to do the same again. If I just equals 6, just so you can visualize what's going on there. So 3 semiquavers are equal to 6 demisemiquavers. So by all means, do get your pencil and a bit of scrap paper and just kind of sketch it out, just get your head around the maths. You can diagram it out, or you can just go about it in a purely mathematical sense. Now we get to the opportunity to just practice writing some demisemiquaver notes here. Now, when they're on their own, and also I would always suggest that you write the note head first and then the stem coming from top to bottom. Don't do the note and then in one movement, because you tend to sort of veer off and it becomes untidy. You may also find that you need a slightly longer stem. You can't get too carried away because we've got to fit 3 little tails there. Now in music, it's got kind of a nice calligraphy to it. Of course, we can't really aim to achieve that on a pencil, and so you're quite within your rights to just do a plain little sort of kick just to keep it tidy. Of course, we can have them stems down, and we can beam them together. Again, always do your stems separately going down. 1, 2, 3. By all means, use a ruler, of course. We can do it the other way around. 1, 2, let's just beam those. 3 lines representing the 3 little kicks. And then, of course, if you could just refer back here, we can see that the rest is the same principle. There's your quaver rest, semiquaver rest, demisemiquaver rest. And so, again, you might find that you need to do it a little bit taller. So it's like a little number 7 with a blob. And then we have to have these extra arms there. And so that's our first introduction to the demisemiquaver. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.